Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, everybody. So, we have to do this on my channel. Duo's computer infected mine because I had to create a second one of these. And the third thing, oh, thank God.
Oh, hello.
Oh, thank
Hello?
God. Okay.
Hello.
We're good.
Hey.
Hey, we're live.
Okay.
I swear, if your computer crashes again.
Yes, I'm going to kill it.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
No, I feel horrible about this.
No, it's cool. It's cool. You know, shit happens. We are so sorry, guys. Our computers hate us.
Well, mine doesn't hate me. It still works.
Well, that's because you and your computer have a good, loving relationship. Mine wants to kill itself, and Duo's is just being an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Now you're kind of frozen. You're like getting choppy.
I am.
Yeah.
Hold on. Well,
Yo.
I ain't doing.
Do it. Move around. I want to see. Okay. Okay. He still works.
No, I'm still here. Don't worry.
Now it's Richard that's like
Well, the hell with this.
all choppy.
Plan B. Plan B then. There. I'm doing this.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. We're going to do this. Okay. So continue where we left off.
Oh
Oh,
boy.
okay.
I kind of deleted the other one, so I don't know if we should do it all over again or.
Well, we're live now.
Oh, we're live! Ah, what the fudge?
That's what I said. We're live.
You said it like 2 minutes ago.
I didn't
did.
hear.
We have to do this. We just have to do this.
Oh God, yes. Let's pick up where we left off.
We left out like how old we. I think we left out how old we were when we first heard of it, and the thing you already finished. Du already finished how old he was.
Yes.
Yeah, I was 11 years old when it first came out. Pretty much.
Okay.
So. Yes, I'm the oldest one here. Got it. But yeah, I think if I remember correctly, we were talking about why Gargoyles was created. And I was saying about that during this time, we had a lot of good shows, mainly Batman the Animated Series and X-Men had a new approach when it comes to dark and gritty and more relatable rather than sunshines and rainbows, slapstick and whatnot. But Disney wanted to get their hats on it because they had a block called the Disney Afternoon, which they had shows that had a lot of sunshines and rainbows, but they want to capitalize on that demographic that likes the dark and gritty.
Yeah.
And hence we have Gargoyles.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Yeah. So anyway, so let's talk about the first story arc of the Gargoyles show. The one that we all got introduced to this episode, to this series, and I have to say the first 5 episodes was awesome. I think it was called The Awakening, I think
it was The Awakening.
Yes, it was The Awakening.
Right. So what was your first impressions of the show?
It was like no other Disney cartoon I had ever seen before, nor have I arguably never seen since, because it was about these statues that are intimidating, but actually giving them a past, personalities, and making them the antithesis of this show. I think as a kid, I was like, this is so weird. Like, it wasn't what I was used to with Disney. So seeing it, it took a while for me to process that this is real, this is happening. But I immediately got hooked by it after those first 5 episodes. Like, I wanted more of it.
Yeah.
And I guess in a way, for me, the same thing. I mean, granted, like, I was like, 3 or 4 years old at the time, and kids like us at that age, they just really don't care. We just like watch the show and see how good it was.
Yes, we kids like that, like 90s kids, we just watched whatever was on TV. You know, we weren't
don't care about like the demographic or what Disney's going on what's going on Disney's mind.
Exactly.
Yes. But you know, my impressions was it was wonderful. I like the premise where It's about these stone gargoyles that we heard about. You know, they always watch over like buildings and stuff. They scare away evil spirits, and they come to life.
At night.
And the first time we get to see this is when these other, I think they're called Vikings.
Yeah,
I
they were
guess.
Vikings.
Yeah, they were Vikings storming the castle, and then all of a sudden, as the sun sets, all of a sudden you see these gargoyles breaking out of their stone skins and just looking at them with a cold stare.
You could. Oh, it would have been better if you said cold stone stare.
Cold stone stare.
Dead stone. We can call it this dead stare. We'll call it that.
Yeah, the dead stare. And these guys were afraid of them. I mean, who wouldn't be afraid of these things? Like, seriously. Statues coming to life and then about to kick your ass.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they go as far as to not kill them because they're there to protect the inhabitants of the castle. Which, if I remember, it was an episode where it wasn't originally a castle before, but the humans just like built one anyway, and the gargoyles just started protecting it because it's still their location where they are. It's still their home, and they're just protecting the humans that's in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether the humans like them or not.
Exactly.
There was one human that was very, very loyal to them and also trusted them and depended on them. I forgot what his name was.
Me neither. Hang on.
Oh my god. Like I said, it's been a while.
I knew I should have I didn't have time to watch the show. That's my fault.
Just Wikipedia it, man.
I'm on Wikipedia.
London, no. No. Not the clones. Not they. Okay, humans. No.
Climbed by Goliath and castle betrayed, killed by humans.
I think he's just called the captain of the guard.
Yeah.
The man with no name.
Yeah, voiced by Ed Gilbert.
Yeah.
Gilbert?
Yeah, Ed Gilbert.
Was head of the captain. He and the Gargoyles receive a dinner. Okay, yeah, it is the guy. No.
Okay.
Yeah, we just call him captain of the guard.
Captain of the guard. Okay. But
we'll call him captain.
He I guess there was a past between them where he owed they helped each other or something like that. And there was a big huge kinship between him and the gargoyles. But the inhabitants there were very prejudiced against the gargoyles.
Except for this little boy, Tom. I mean, he doesn't mind them, but his mother is just still wary of them.
Yeah.
Right. Even Tom walked up to them saying the usual hi, hello, and what do you call each other, Brent? Or he just asks questions like, how do you tell each other apart? I think
we look different.
Yeah, at the time, Brooklyn didn't have a name, but we still call him Brooklyn. Brooklyn at the time, he said, we look different. And then Tom asked, what do you call each other? Friend. So back then, except for Goliath, none of the gargoyles had names.
Yeah.
No, they didn't.
Friend.
Yeah.
But so I was talking about the prejudice with the gargoyles is kind of taking some cues from X-Men, how people were prejudiced against the mutants. These people were prejudiced against the gargoyles, and it's human nature to fear what they don't understand. That's pretty much what it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right now, if aliens came to Earth, we'd be deathly afraid of them without getting to know them.
Right.
Yeah.
But even though they helped them out from the invasion, they still didn't think of them as equals, which is guys, hello.
Well, because some of the humans are refugees, and they don't have any kind of strength to protect themselves. And the gargoyles, they're stronger than them in many ways.
Right. But then you have the armies there looking down at them as listen, if the gargoyles didn't show up, you guys would have been conquered. Okay?
Yeah.
So and the princess, man, she was such a snob.
Such a
beast don't belong in the dining hall.
I hated the princess. Even when they come in after they've defended their asses, she's like, get those disgusting things out of here. I'm like, bitch, they just saved you.
Yeah.
I think his name was Magus. The Magus kind of sided with them. He's just these foul creatures, something.
Yeah.
Can I be honest with you? I think he did that because he did have the hots for the princess. So
yeah,
of course
that's
he's
true.
I'm gonna agree with her. So because I want to get in bed with her. So let's see.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But here's the interesting thing: that kid Tom ended up with the princess.
Even if he's like what, 10 years younger than her? Maybe 8?
Yeah.
It's crazy. That was crazy. Like,
oh my
later
god,
on in the seasons, we found out
they pulled a George Lucas before George Lucas did it.
Yes!
Oh my god. Damn, Gargoyles was ahead of its time.
It was.
Wow.
Well, yeah, but I guess back in the days, age was just a number. But anyway.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
You know, I mean, back in the day, you can, people my age can marry someone who was 12 back in the day. So
wow.
But I'm not going to do that now. I'm not going to do that at all. Wow. But I'm just saying,
no.
Yeah, age is just a number.
Yeah, no.
Oh, and what about Demona? She's like kind of like almost like the black sheep of the Gargoyle clan.
She was.
She seemed like the only female there, but.
Well, there are other females. I'm sure there are other females. They just rarely ever show them.
Yeah, they couldn't animate them. They ran out of a budget, so they couldn't animate them.
But, you know, she was a big, huge staple in the whole series, though. You know, Demona.
Yeah, she was.
You know, and we know that she was also the mate of Goliath as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had more than just like a partnership. It was more like a romantic relationship between the two. And also an interesting thing with that clan, they had a previous leader. They had a previous leader
which was again Hudson. No name at the time. Yeah, Hudson. But he passed it on to Goliath.
Yeah.
Right.
After
and even though they don't really see the whole parent-child thing, because as I found out, I think Mecha-san told me this when I commented in the chat that Broadway is actually Hudson's son.
Oh my god!
Really?
At least that's what he told me. And that's not all. I think it was some time ago. I saw like maybe on Facebook or Twitter where someone posted pictures about a little bit of information about the Gargoyles. It said that Hudson and Broadway are father and son.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I guess seeing the passing of clan leader, I think it depends on how strong or loyalty to it.
Right. And Goliath did fit the mold to be the leader.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he was like the strongest of all the gargoyles at the time and stuff. So, of course, have him.
And the voice, though.
Oh, yeah. Keith David.
Oh, dude. You could not have gotten a more epic voice to play Goliath than damn Keith David. Yes. Like, it would have been the only other person who could have played Goliath, I grant you, would have been Kevin Conroy. But Keith David was born to play that role. Like, he was the Kevin Conroy of Gargoyles.
Yes, I have to agree with that, man.
Yeah, he was
also the voice of Spawn in the animated series Spawn.
Which is so weird. Like, to hear him be this wise, kind, dominant leader to being this hellspawn that curses and has a freaking attitude of people. It's such a huge difference between them.
But still in a way that he still watched his now ex-wife and her kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He just doesn't want anything to happen to him. Even if he's protecting his best friend, even though he married his wife.
Yes, and for those wondering, why are we deviating from Gargoyles to Spawn? Again, they're both played by the same actor. So to us, it's not that much of a deviation. It's just more of us spinning off kind of thing. Because, again, that's how awesome Keith David is.
Yeah.
With his
especially when you first hear him in the first episode, you are trespassing.
Chill. Just thinking about it got me chills on my back.
Dude, Keith David, if Keith Keith David could read my obituary, and I would still be at heaven. He could, like, you talk about someone who can read the phone book. Imagine him reading the phone book as Goliath, man. That'd be awesome.
But so we learned more about the gargoyles in this whole arc, about their past, and
how they came to like New York.
Yeah, and there was like one part where they got ambushed again by the Vikings again. Only this time they fought in the day, which is smart.
There was betrayal. Smart. There was betrayal in there.
Yes,
they didn't know who, but later on in the mini arc.
Yeah, in the mini arc they found out it was the
captain
of the guard of all people betrayed them. But here's the thing: he didn't know that the leader of the Vikings was gonna kill.
No, he only agreed, like, okay, if I remember correctly, he only agreed to help the Viking, who was voiced by Clancy Brown, bonus points if you know who that is. He agreed to help him, but only if he would spare the gargoyles, because he was their friend. He trusted, they were kind of like family, they were bonded to each other. So he agreed to betray his castle and therefore, his, country, but only if the gargoyles were spared. But they weren't.
Okay, I'm sorry. Side thing. Why did up until the betrayal? Why did the Vikings want to invade it just to take the prisoners and leave the gargoyles alone? Was that
it? They wanted to actually kill the gargoyles because they beat them in a battle.
I don't know what I'm trying to think because like I said before, it was the place where the castle was, at least the area. It was their home, but the humans built it. But I don't know what I'm trying to get at, because I think they just want to take the people, I guess leave the gargoyles to the castle and just leave the castle to the gargoyles and just let them live in peace or whatever.
It was either that or they wanted to kill the gargoyles and take back the castle for the people. It was one of those two.
Yeah.
Well, I think what happened was they wanted to conquer them because they're Vikings. Plunder.
Yeah, Vikings.
But they wanted to kill them because of the fact that, well, if we leave and they reemerge and they found out that the castle is empty, they're going to come after us. So that guy didn't want to take a chance at it. But
I guess I would say, because the Viking did say, like, when the captain of the guard stopped them, saying this is unnecessary, and the Vikings like, are you mad? The moment they wake up, my man will be their prey.
Yeah. But he didn't want to take that chance, which is true, because guess what? Luckily, Goliath and Hudson were away because they thought they were going to attack, but they were decoyed away from the castle.
And another good thing, because the night before the invasion, I was talking about Tom and talking to the gargoyles, and then, I'm still going to call them by their name, Brooklyn and Lexington, and I guess Demona too. Because Tom's mother saying, get away from them, the monsters, whatever. And I think Brooke said no, if they want us to act like monsters, and then Lex said, we'll be monsters. And then did the whole eye glowing thing. And then Goliath saw what's happening, and he didn't want make that big of a wedge between the humans and the gargoyles. So he just sent the trio, Broadway included, to the rookery. I'm guessing that's their nest.
Yeah.
And they took Bronx with him. So in a way, those four were actually lucky that Goliath sent those four down there.
Right.
Yeah.
But they didn't know about, and also the eggs were there too. There were eggs down there too. Yeah. So,
which, by the way, those were pretty big eggs. How were they able to reproduce?
I don't want to think about. I don't want to think about gargoyles having sex.
No. I mean, those are pretty big eggs, roughly the size, maybe a foot or two, maybe the size of my chihuahua, maybe a few inches bigger.
Maybe female gargoyles are made out of steel? I don't know. I mean, they have to be to get those big eggs out.
My question is, how many eggs per birth, though? Can they?
I couldn't count how many there were. I mean, but I'm guessing there was.
There had to be hundreds of eggs, because I do remember there was.
No. I remember because in this one episode, a flashback after the gargoyles were well, I want to say because after Goliath made the decision to turn him to stone, after the mage turned the rest to stone, the princess, Tom, and the mage and Tom's mother managed to get the eggs out, and she said there were 36 eggs.
36? Oh my god! Jesus.
So yeah, I think around 36 eggs there were there. They counted.
Jeez.
So there was bound to be a few females in that clan.
Yeah, but they're dead now.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, back to like beginning, because that's kind of because I was talking about how many eggs were there. So yeah, like I said, those 4 were actually lucky that Goliath sent them down there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But
Did you
yeah.
freeze again?
Did you?
He froze again.
Damn it.
We were doing so well.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh.
2 duos.
Ed?
Okay.
Dude?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. But yeah.
Why is there another U still there?
Because twin. It'll take a while for that other him to go away.
Okay.
You still with us, Dua?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
now back to the
Yes, please.
thing.
Yeah. So yeah, and then after that, you all know the rest. We're getting there. 1,000 years go by because the curse says that they will.
Well, the thing is, because then the Vikings kidnapped the princess, right? And the mage.
Yeah, they kidnapped the princess.
But the mage, so the Gargoyles were after them, and I don't know where the hell Goliath.
He went to stop the guard of the captain of the guard because of his betrayal.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah. So what was I say? So yeah, so the captain of the guard and the captain of the Viking both fell down the cliff because the Viking pretty much in a way ratted him out, saying it was him, it was idea. Then the guard came and said, "You, whatever." Then they just
what a
fell
pussy!
Off the cliff.
Exactly.
They just fell off the cliff.
Yeah,
and
they fell.
And Goliath was like enraged.
I've been denied everything, even my revenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pissed.
But then the princess kind of saw and kind of in a way changed her mind. But Mages didn't know because he thought that the princess was killed, and he blamed the Gargoyles and used the spell to turn them all to stone, even at night.
You fucking dumbass! I still say that to this day.
And the prerequisite to break the curse is when the castle has to be above the clouds.
Yeah, which
how is that possible? How is that going to be possible?
Like who wrote that? Who wrote that thing?
Yeah, exactly. Well, Greg Weisman probably wrote it. So
okay.
Yeah.
In the universe, what mage wrote that thing to have that kind of have that requirement?
Prequel. Let's get a prequel on how that happened.
Yes. Anyway,
now Goliath and the princess make it bad. The mage sees the princess is alive, realizes his mistake. Goliath then asks to cast the spell one more time to turn him to stone, because even until when the curse was released, he didn't know that it was even he knew that it was impossible for the castle to be above the clouds.
Yeah, plus the freaking dumb idiot Viking ripped out one of the pages to undo the damn thing. That is true. Yeah, so they literally, it was like Goliath can either go on living without his brothers, or he can be frozen with them. So it was kind of it was kind of an easy option for him to choose the second one. So yep, they are turned to stone forever until the castle rises above the clouds.
Then we fast forward 1,000 years.
Yeah, right. Which is like, so you're telling me in all this time, come on, in all this time, there was no building in the Gargoyles universe that could have gotten above the clouds. We literally had to wait until the villain was born to do that.
Hey, it was in New York.
And the thing is, there's actually a couple episodes about Xanatos, actually how he got himself that kind of fortune.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but yeah, so He somehow found the book, saw
Mhm.
the spell, saw what he needs to do,
Mhm.
and with an astronomical amount of money, built the tower above the clouds, literally.
Yeah. And for those of you who are thinking, well, I mean, maybe he just spent over $1 million. No.
That is not $1 million.
No.
This fool had to have spent trillions of dollars in order to get the build.
How much money did they actually have to do? Like,
well, see, the thing is, when we see, okay, there's a building underneath the castle. He put the castle underneath the building, then he added a few alterations to it to make it touch above the clouds. So,
they could move the entire castle by itself. They had to like remove brick by brick and reconstruct it.
Yes. So in total, we're looking at probably billions or trillions of dollars in order to get this damn thing above the clouds.
I did say astronomical.
This is
I
true.
know. Like,
again,
like the cost of transportation, the equipment.
Even Owen said that this whole thing's astronomical. The amount.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Xanatos is not Bruce Wayne.
Hold on. You only just said he got a loan from Seto Kaiba.
He got a loan from somebody. It was either Seto Kaiba or Bruce Wayne. One of the two.
Because I forgot Seto Kaiba has like a big fortune, but I really doubt it's that kind of he has that kind of fortune to loan to.
No. Seto Kaiba and Bruce Wayne combined don't have this kind of money.
No.
Like, it's crazy.
You know who does? Scrooge McDuck. He must have borrowed it from Scrooge McDuck.
This is in the Disney universe.
Like here, Armstrong said, repayments.
Even I have Scrooge McDuck has that kind of money.
Yeah, that's true. Scrooge McDuck has infinite amounts of money, so maybe he did. Maybe Xanatos used to work for Scrooge McDuck, and he asked him to borrow a lot of money.
Like he's freaked out by a Scottish talking duck.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, he's about to reawaken talking gargoyles. I'm pretty sure Xanatos would be okay.
It could be possible, since it's in New York. It could be possible he had a partnership with Donald Trump.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Because Donald Trump lives in New York. Well, used to. Now he's in the White House.
Oh, that makes sense now. That's why money got wasted back in the 90s. Okay, that makes sense. So, yes. And then we finally get the scene you all know. The sun goes down.
Rain pouring down, make it more dramatic.
Yeah. And then, Xanatos is hoping that it works, even says, don't be a disappointment. Which I was saying, well, you spent trillions of dollars on this, so why would it be a disappointment? And
you have to understand, like, back in the day, magic was actually considered real, but with technology growing, it's myth. And
it is. Oh, man. That would have been cool. But, yeah, so they reawaken, making the most epic of yawns. I wish I could wake up yawning like that.
Oh, my God. That was 1,000-year sleep. Wow.
Like crack your backs and you hear like multiple cracks.
What was it? How did it go again? 1,000 years will give you such a pain in the neck.
Actually, Jeannie said 10,000 years, but I get what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Yes. So finally, they wake up and they're
they have a big reunion of that we're alive, we're awake, we're alive, we're together again. But then they stare out to the city.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what is this place?
Yeah.
And they talk to Xanatos, talk about what happened. It's like, you guys are the last of your kind. And then right away, as they wake up, they get into battle. Like right away.
Yeah, right away.
These people come into the castle. They wanted to go after Xanatos, and then all of a sudden they say, who is these people? And Hudson said, well, they're attacking the castle. That's all we need to know. Let's go after them.
Yeah.
And they were fighting against military grade soldiers with lots of technology that they have never come across. Never come across before. They're thinking they were sorcerers, like they were magical sorcerers or something like that. These weapons are like weird compared to the weapons we used to fight against, and I guess they're sorcerers. So
Yeah, sorcerers.
But then we also end up finding out that was actually Xanatos' men that wanted
like
to
planning the whole
test them
thing.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, test them out to see how their skills are.
Well, to be fair, I mean, he spent over $1 trillion on them, so I think it's more than reasonably fair he would want to test them out and see if they're, as good as they say they are.
Right. So
let's not forget Alicia.
Eliza Maza.
Yeah.
She was pretty much the April O'Neil of the Gargoyles.
Well, no, she was the April O'Neil and the... Oh, God, what's another good comparison? I don't want to say she was the Batgirl of the group because that kind of makes it weird. Oh, shit. I don't know. Right. She was the typical 90s era cop. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
She was a 90s cop.
Yeah, so because down below when the first episode started, there's like all this big commotion and all this like debris falling down.
Yeah.
And then she went to investigate it.
Yeah, and what really got her curious was she saw the claw marks.
On stone.
On stone. Like, what could be strong enough to leave claw marks on solid stone? Mm-hmm. Well, let's go find out. And she found out. She met up with Goliath, and then she got scared. She backed up, and she falls down to her death. But Goliath goes for the rescue.
Because that's his nature.
And yes. it was love at first sight.
Boundaries.
And this is where we first found out that they can't fly. He mentioned to them but
I agree with Boomstick. Like in this one section when they were doing the Beast versus Goliath, he's like, what I say is bullshit. What do you call what he's doing right there other than flying?
Yeah, he's flying.
But the thing is, okay, but Wiz kind of like cleared it up because he can't exactly lift off from the ground.
No, he's got to climb, and then
he's got to climb to a high space, and like with enough wind, he'll be able to glide.
Yeah. So he was able to climb up, and everyone got the chance to meet Eliza Maza, and of course it was going to be daytime, so they turned to stone. And the next night, of course, everyone wants to check out the place. Like, let's go exploring. I mean, I want to see this new place.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, coming to America kind of thing moment.
Yeah.
Like, I love
Like
America!
they were checking out the new improvements to the castle, and Hudson discovered the wonders of television.
Yes!
Oh, yes.
And he became a couch potato now.
Yes. Oh, my God. That was the best.
He also got his name. He also got his name that day too, because Lisa wanted to know, like, what's your name? It's like, well, does the sky need a name? Does the river need a name?
But
that river's called the Hudson.
But it was after that Elisa pointed to the bridge, the Hudson Bridge, and that's when Hudson said, "Does the sky need a name? River need a name?" Then he just called himself the Hudson now.
I'll be the Hudson.
Which now that I think about it, it's actually not that bad even for an old gargoyle. Oh, I choked a little.
No, it's okay.
As I was saying, Hudson's not a bad name even for an old gargoyle.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, well, yeah, and then we saw Lexington, Brooklyn, and Broadway exploring New York City, seeing the wonders and all that stuff. And it was like something new to them. It was almost like they were just born, and it's like, wow, a whole new world, a new fantastic point of view.
Where people will shoot at you if you come near them.
Yeah, I remember one part in that part where Lexington wanted to try out the motorcycle. It was the first time he ever tried. Like, oh my god!
Yeah,
and he's. Okay, and now that they were done exploring, they made it back to the castle, and Xanatos showed Goliath a little secret that Demona was with them.
Yeah.
Yep. Goliath! Oh my God, my angel of the night!
I guess that was her nickname at the time, Angel of the Night, which is a little ironic, but I understand. I can get why.
Yeah. Yes, true love has reunited.
Yeah.
And then now they were talking about the mission that those men stole a disc from them, and the Gargoyles didn't know what discs are. But
yeah,
Xanatos kind of like
Explained it.
explain in their own terms. Like think of it as like a magic talisman containing hundreds of spells.
Yeah.
So and a floppy disk or whatever contains hundreds of thousands of data. So relatively the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they set up on a mission, not knowing what's going on and all that.
Yeah.
They just
So
they did. But then when they reached up and like in a way mission accomplished, Demona actually revealed that
her true nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While holding out this giant bazooka.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Hey, what are you doing with a bazooka, bitch?
I have lived a long time. The humans have given me a name. I am Demona.
Demona.
That was such a great reveal.
Which we now know how she got her name later on in the series.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what was heartbreaking though? Was Goliath's reaction when he found that Demona was,
still
betrayed.
hating humans to
Yeah. Well, it got worse over time.
Yeah.
Right. And he was like, you kind of had. I felt for Goliath because he was actually crying that time. At that moment.
In a way, Goliath lost his love twice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Even though in the castle, the rubble, he thought it was her.
Yep.
So it was kind of heartbreaking, like he lost her once,
really was.
And then when she came back and realized she's not the same person that he fell in love with, it's like he lost her again.
Yep.
And it's like, and you saw a tear coming out of his eye. I'm like, oh my god!
Not just a tear, like streaming a river of tears.
This poor man.
Man, the poor guy.
And he still, even though he loved her and she wanted him to join with her, he still didn't want to because it wasn't the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like props, man. He knew what was right and what was wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyway, as we know, they had these new android gargoyles now made by Xanatos, which actually look like Goliath, of course.
Yeah.
And,
obviously.
And the main one, like the big red one, is actually Xanatos piloting it.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. What if we had him versus Tony Stark?
Oh,
God.
They're both billionaires.
Yeah, they have this kind of technology.
Yeah, iron suits. Oh my god. Woo!
Depending on what metals they use, because
Yeah.
like in comic books they kind of like it's kind of fucking hot in here. In comic books they kind of exaggerate like what kind of metals people use for weapons.
Yeah.
Right. So we pretty much talked about the gist of the story,
the first 5 episodes, like that mini arc, like the beginning.
Yeah.
Arc.
Right. So let's talk about the characters themselves. What I liked about the clan is that they all have different personalities. They're kind of like the Ninja Turtles, where they all look they're similar, but they all have different personalities that everyone could relate to.
Yeah.
And that was great.
Lexington is now the techie of the group.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did he become so smart to be like a computer genius? Like
I think he like watches the humans do it. Like when he made the motorcycle, I think it was the same one that Brooklyn kind of pretty much wrecked.
Yeah, it was.
I think he pretty much saw like how it works and all that. He even knew how to flew a helicopter in a way, even though he only knew it from a video game.
I think it is more than confirmed he has a photographic memory of how to handle technology in the modern day.
True.
So he was sort of like the Donatello of the bunch.
Yeah.
He was the genius. He was the techno guy and everything.
Yeah.
What would you call Brooklyn?
Brooklyn. I think he's hard to say.
He's not just a comedy. Like he's not just the comedic sidekick.
No, he wasn't. He was not that's Broadway. Broadway.
Yeah, Broadway's more of the comedic relief.
I'm sorry. I misheard. Brooklyn. That's hard. I mean,
he was sort of like he became second in command.
Yeah, he did. So I mean,
but he can still be immature as such. Because
that's true.
And doesn't take a lot of things seriously. Like this one time where Demona has the spell book and can, in a way tricks Brooklyn to like thinking that all humans are bad or whatever, or I don't know what the it is. And then he used the spell book. She used the spell book to control Goliath. and I forgot what kind of spell it was. I think it's just to listen to what he says, and then Brooklyn takes the spell back, but I don't know why he needs to feel the need to rip the page out.
Yeah, that was
no. It was Alicia that ripped the page out. Then kind of like in a way reverse psychology the spell.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but that just shows that Brooklyn's kind of like immature in some way. That
so I think we can't say he's the immature one. I mean, he takes some things seriously, but he's still not fully matured as a gargoyle.
Right, but he was learning to be a leader, though. He was learning to be a leader.
Yeah.
Broadway was the glutton.
I could say, well, what do you expect when he's voiced by Patrick frickin' Star? It's the same voice actor.
And I think he's also the cook of the group, because I always see him in the kitchen, and he looks like he makes these really awesome food.
I hope so. He obviously, as soon as he got out, he loved the modern day food of New York City.
Oh God, he was like Beerus. Like he never had food like this before. And you're like, oh my God, I love this food, and he started eating them.
Yeah.
But he can also I don't know what's the word for it, because you remember this one episode where Broadway was watching this sort of like cowboy show with guns involved.
Oh, here we go.
That was the darkest.
Oh God, here we go.
Doesn't takes off her gun harness, puts on the coat hanger, right? And Broadway like pretty much mimics everything he sees. He sees the gun, starts pointing it around, accidentally shoots. Said sorry.
Well, no, he dropped.
But then he finds Alicia like,
God.
That was a dark episode. Lesson though, that if you see a gun, don't touch it.
Well, this also points out another lesson. Don't leave your gun holster where someone can get to it.
At least he learned a lesson. At least he put it away in a box, in a drawer, locked box in a drawer.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. But oh my God, that episode. That was really
sorry. I laughed my ass off when his response when the gun went off. He said, "Oh, sorry, I was playing with the gun." Like, what?
He
was playing. I was playing with the gun.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, he said, here's another fucked up thing. Goliath kind of like, well, not Goliath. Broadway kind of like blamed it. I don't know if it was Goliath or Broadway, but he pretty much blamed it on other people who were selling guns. That one arms dealer.
No, actually, in that episode, Alicia was doing some detective work on this shady gang that she was trying to take down. And whenever she got shot, they think the police captain thought, okay, it must be this game because she went to try and intimidate them.
I think she was in the hospital, and I think the chief of police were like discussing whatever, and I think Goliath or Broadway were overhearing it.
Well, no, it was just Goliath. He went to go see her.
Okay, just Goliath. Then he overheard it, and I think he took Broadway along.
No, Broadway went to do his own. He was so upset, he started going after people selling guns, and there was literally one line. He was like, "What's this? A gun? So you could take people's lives with it?"
And he crushes it.
Yeah, exactly. And then he hears about this factory that's selling more guns. So he meets Goliath there, and he's trying to tell him what happened. But Goliath's like, no, like Alicia's been shot. And then there's a point where Goliath almost kills this person. And Broadway's like, no, he didn't do it. It was my fault. It was an accident. And then he's like, okay, let's go see Alicia.
Not before
and Alicia forgave him because she understood this is
not before tying up the arms dealers for the police.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was like Duo's right. That was the darkest episode Disney had ever done, and they didn't. And again, unlike Batman the Animated Series or X-Men, they actually showed Alicia laying down with blood coming out. They didn't censor it.
With Broadway's hands covered in her blood.
Yes. Disney was the first, Gargoyles was the first cartoon to actually show somebody bleeding and somebody covered in their blood. Like, it was crazy. No other show could do this at the time because of censors, but this was Disney. They could do whatever they wanted.
And this was actually during daytime afternoon, too.
Yes.
Where every kid got a chance to watch it.
Oh my god.
I mean, every time
crazy.
after school, I go home, do my homework, and sit down and watch Disney Afternoon, and that's what you see.
Oh god.
That's what you see.
Oh man, this episode.
Well, at least Broadway learned his lesson.
Yeah, he
Yes.
did. He did.
Yes, he did.
Let's see. We
Bronx.
have Bronx was just the dog.
The dog.
I love Bronx.
Yeah, he was adorable, but he was just the dog.
You know what he looked like?
What?
One of the Zool dogs.
He did, actually.
Zool, motherfucker! Zool!
And, of course, like every creature in the 1980s to 90s, well, 60s to 90s, whatever, Bronx was voiced by Frank Welker, the voice
Of course
Hey!
it was Frank Welker. Of
Yes.
course it was him.
Yeah, the voice of Megatron, the voice of Fred from Scooby-Doo, the voice of all of
himself?
these...
He voiced Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, he was the voice of Fred.
Fred and
Well, he-
Scooby Doo.
Yes, now he voices Scooby-Doo, but he yeah. So, well, of course, who else could you get to make dog
Did
noises?
he also voice a Boo from Aladdin?
Yes,
Yes,
he
he
did.
was.
He
And he
voiced
was also the
every
voice of
animal. If
the
it was,
temple of the Cave of
Yeah.
Wonder, that tiger.
yeah, if you saw any cartoon animal back in the day, chances are, like 99% of the time, it was voiced by Frank Welker. Because my God, could that man do animal noises? He can still do animal noises good.
I know, man.
And did
Like-
he also voice the cricket from Mulan?
He did voice the cricket from Mulan. Yes. Again, he did everything. Yeah, so Bronx was adorable. I wish I had Bronx as a pet.
And
Well,
Hudson
Amber would
was
probably
kinda like-
beat me to it.
And Hudson was kind of like the wise one of the bunch, 'cause
Mentor.
he was the oldest.
I think he was the master splinter of the group. I think,
Sort
he
of like
was he was the leader at one point, but because of his age and because of how he lost an eye, he was like, okay, I have to
Step
hand
down.
over command.
Mhm.
Yeah. But which, by the way, my favorite episode involving Hudson is where he learns how to read, like from an old blind man. Yeah, I can't remember his name. I hate that I can't remember his name, but they were kind of the little companions to each other. Like they were two old guys. One couldn't read and one was blind. So-
Jeffrey Robbins, blind author
Yes,
from Vietnam.
there we
vet.
go. Yes, there you go.
He's a good
Oh,
guy.
So yeah,
Uh,
every character has something that we could relate to. You know, what I mean?
yes, and
It was kind of like that was the charm with Ninja Turtles. That was the charm with the Power Rangers.
yes,
Gargoyles followed suit with that, and I thought it was a good touch that they gave them different personalities to where some kids might say like, "Oh, I can relate to that person because I'm so smart. I'm a smart just like Lexington," or
Mhm.
"I love food just like Broadway." You know.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Okay,
So
what
it
about
had-
Hudson? Not Hudson. I'm sorry, Macbeth. Macbeth.
Oh, Macbeth.
Who
Or
was
is that Macbeth?
Yeah, I forgot who that was.
The guy that's pretty much lived the same way Demona has.
Was he a gargoyle?
No, he was a human. Hang on, Macbeth. Former king of. Okay, I'm reading the Wikipedia. Former king of Scotland was loosely based on the Shakespearean character, as well as the real historical figure depicted with a white chin, curtain beard in the 1990s main storyline of the series. He is internally bound to Demona and is forced to live in conflict with her forever. Neither one of them can die until one simultaneously kills the other. Initially an enemy of the Gargoyles, he later becomes their ally. He tried to claim the sword Excalibur for himself, but did not succeed in doing this. After being impressed with Macbeth's skills and honorable behavior, King Arthur offered him a place in the new Round Table as would create. Fuck, new Round Table has would create. What? Macbeth, while honored, refused this offer because he felt he could not submit to Arthur's rule as he was a self-made man. But Macbeth offered his services should there ever be a crisis. He sometimes uses the alias Lennox Macduff after two characters. He was voiced by John Rhys Davies or Davis.
Who gave him a Sean Connery voice? Like he talked like this.
Yeah, it sounds like in the show.
Yeah. Goliath, we meet again. Like, it was, I legitimately thought that was Sean Connery playing him, but no, I was like, oh, okay, cool. It's not. It was. Macbeth was kind of an awesome villain. Like, he wasn't necessarily a main villain, but he could definitely, hold his own with the Gargoyles. And I love the history they gave him and Demona. And it was him who actually gave her name.
Yeah. Should we talk about Demona's little origins and how he should change throughout the years?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember her. I'm trying to remember her origins. I do remember that she hid away during the attack.
Yeah, she did. She hid in the cliffside, where the waves are of the castle. And then when the sun came up, she turned to stone, crying. I don't know, while this was happening. And then she flew up, and I think she saw Goliath actually enraged that he thought she was dead. Mm-hmm. And then he went, and then she set out. I don't know where to. I don't remember. But then when she came back to the castle, no, that was wrong. I think, I was wrong because I think she climbed up the castle, saw after the sun went down. She climbed up the castle, saw the Goliath and the rest turn to stone.
Yes,
really heartbroken about all that. So she set off on her own because she saw, Tom, the princess, Magus, Tom's mom, taking the eggs out of there because without any gargoyles, who would take care of them?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So now she set up on her own. She hid away. I think she found other eggs out there because as she was aging, she found other eggs and tried to hid away and all that.
Yeah.
But that's when she stumbled upon a little farm. And then when she scratched, pretty much scarred this one farm boy because the 3 scars on the face. The guy, she pretty much created the hunter.
Yeah.
And
yep, this is true.
Yeah, and as time went on, descendants of the hunter, well, in a way, the original hunter was killed, and then the other person who was Macbeth's. No. Oh my god, I'm getting my story mixed up, but really hard to say because there's so much going on in there.
Yeah. I remember some of that episode because they had a whole.
She was aging. I know she was aging, and then she got her youth back.
Yeah, and these witches brought her youth back
because she now lives the same way as Macbeth, but they can't. Yeah. But they can't die unless those two actually kill each other simultaneously.
Yeah, so they're forever immortal unless they kill each other. And ever since then, they actually had a good deal. Demona would help him, and he would in turn offer her shelter as king. But that didn't go well, and because Demona's prejudice towards humans, she eventually betrayed him, and I believe she may have killed his family, or she hired someone to do that. And Macbeth found out, and he forever decided to become her enemy and vow to get his revenge. But he knew if he kills her, he dies too. So they just had these random fights and skirmishes here and there over the centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I love what they did to Demona, as a character. I mean, she started off as kind but somewhat prejudiced towards humans, but after what happened to the Gargoyles, that's what kind of snapped her into becoming this evil person who wanted to rule and get rid of humanity. Even when she had to work with humans, she still didn't trust them, except for Xanatos for some reason. But even that didn't last. And there was also an episode where she did find a way to get around not turning into stone, but it was kind of ironic, and it pissed her and it made her upset because, see, whenever the sun comes up, instead of turning to stone like the other gargoyles, she now turns into a human.
No.
So yeah, and again,
and
what
then
does
she like
Demona
kind of knew
hate
the ins
most?
and outs. Now she knew the ins and outs of businesses and all that.
Yeah, exactly. And she was kind of a devious character. I mean, there was hope for her, but she was completely gone. And she
Even
also,
meeting her daughter didn't change anything.
oh no, especially
I
when she,
know, like
it's like, you
seriously.
heartless bitch. And there was even one point she wanted to go back in time to try and convince her younger self to turn on the gargoyles before they were turned into stone. But
And her
it was
younger self chose not to.
it was kind of a I like to think of that as a Darth Vader meets Anakin Skywalker type thing. Like, this is what you will become. And the good version's like, no, I'll never become you. I will destroy you. You're not real and all that. And
but then eventually she becomes that. Anyway.
yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. Oh, and she also became jealous of Alicia, and she tried to kill her on multiple occasions.
Yeah, because there was something going on between her and Goliath, which, believe
Weird.
it or not, they actually kissed each other.
Yeah, they did.
And there was even an episode where I think Demona turned Alicia into a gargoyle.
Yeah, not just her, but I think the entire world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not really too much of a fan of that episode. I just kind of, as a kid, I wasn't too much of a fan of it, so I just like ignore it and then wait for the next one.
Yeah, so Demona was an interesting character, and I'm sad that we never saw much of her after season 2. She doesn't even appear in the Goliath Chronicles, if I'm correct.
I don't think she does.
I don't remember it. I know a lot of people wanted to not remember that one, but
yeah.
She was also voiced by the actress who played Deanna Troi on Star Trek: The Next Generation. I think her name was Marina Sturgis, and she killed that. She killed the role. She killed the role.
I think
you never thought, like, when she plays the character of Deanna Troi, you never thought she could be a villain until you hear her play as Demona.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well,
yeah, but speaking of someone from Star Trek, there was a lot of Star Trek alumni that voiced characters in Gargoyles.
I think there were a total of 4, if I'm correct. There was
more than that, but there were a lot more than that. Like a lot of not just from Next Generation, but other shows from, like, say, Deep Space Nine, Voyager.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wow, I thought it was just Next Generation. That's crazy.
No, not just Next Generation, because even Avery Brooks, who played Captain Sisko, was in the show too, which was crazy. Because I used to thought that he was the voice of Goliath at one point.
Yeah.
But yeah, the biggest notable actor who was in Gargoyles was Jonathan Frakes, who played Commander Riker in Star Trek, and he was the voice of Xanatos, and he did really good with that one. He did really good.
God, man, what the hell? Damn.
Okay, so how about, like, when we actually see the eggs that were originally in the castle hatched and grew up in a secluded island, where we found?
I don't remember that.
Where we first made at the time they didn't know it, and Goliath's daughter, Angela.
Yeah, that was weird, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, this is cool. I was okay with it. I was like, yeah, no, I could buy this.
But this time, all the eggs actually have names. The princess, Tom, the mage, they gave them names.
Jeez, that must have taken 2 hours to name all 36 of them.
37. I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was 36.
Yeah. They meet Goliath meets his daughter, and it's he
didn't know it at the time until this one doctor told him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but well, I forgot about this before we head to the Angela thing. What about Elise's brother and the underground clan, the mutants?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was this whole thing with Elisa's brother who wanted to be a good pilot. He even worked for the police force, but then Xanatos tried to buy him, because he wanted to mess with Elisa because he knows her relationship with the Gargoyles. So that got them into a little bit of family drama. There was even at one point where Goliath stepped in and said, "Okay, that's enough. You both are brother and sister. All my brothers and sisters are dead. So you two need to stick up for each other and be there."
Yeah, Derek Mazza. Cobb, who was
Yeah.
also a pilot, later transformed into a mutant named Talon by Xanatos, voiced by Rocky Carroll.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was transformed into Talon, but it wasn't by Xanatos. Xanatos actually tried to help him because he legitimately cared about him, but then his evil scientist was like, "Oh my god, it worked. Think of all the things I can do." And he's like, "Dude, turn this kid back." But, evil scientist, so that didn't work out. And yeah, forever then, Talon kind of led this group of transformed mutants who could fly, and it kind of
have like the abilities of others because they got wings of a bat, the electric powers of the eel.
Yeah.
And apparently the appearance of different jungle cats.
Yeah. Science was weird.
Right.
And we never actually, and I don't think we've ever actually seen them like have them turn back into human because they just, I guess they just like don't mind living.
I can remember, no, they were permanently stuck. I think the scientist told Xanatos, "Yeah, no, I can't." He's stuck like, yeah, he's stuck.
But you know
like
what
that.
I would like to see? I mean, it's not exactly a full cure, but they can still transform back into the mutants whenever they want to. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
They can like live as humans, but when the need arises, they can transform back into the mutants.
That's true.
Right.
That's kind of what I wanted to see.
Before we get into Angela's story arc and stuff, we haven't really talked about the pack.
Oh yeah, the pack.
Oh yes, the pack. How could we
I always loved the pack. They were kind of like Power Rangers, only they named after.
They're bad guys. Named
like
after
wolves, foxes, jackals.
Basically anyone from the dog, and basically anyone from the dog species.
Yeah, they were like a combination of the Power Rangers meets the Royal Flush Gang.
Yes. I see that.
Yeah. What was it? Okay, yeah. Fox would eventually go on to marry Xanatos and have his child.
Right.
Let's see. Jackal was crap.
Jackal and Hyena are like the twins because
there you go. They're the crate. Which, by the way, I think it was Hyena. Hyena was voiced by Cree Summers.
I'm trying to look for the pack. Oh, here we are. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jackal. Okay. Wolf, Jackal, Hyena, Coyote, and formerly Fox and Dingo. I think from the order I just read.
Yeah, Dingo. I forgot about Dingo. Was the Australian guy?
Yeah, I like Dingo. Anyway, Clancy Brown, Matt Frewer, Cree Summer, Jonathan Frakes, Laura San.
And Jim Cummings.
Giacomo and Jim Cummings.
Yep, Jim Cummings voiced Dingo. I know that Australian accent. I know that kind of, not fake Australian accent, but I know that Australian voice anywhere. It's Jim
Cummings. Dingo.
Yeah, Dingo was pretty cool. A dingo ate your baby. I'm sorry. I had to get out.
And if I remember correct, Jonathan Frakes voiced Coyote.
Yes, he did, because Coyote would come out to spring them from jail, except Fox, who actually wanted to stay to, get off parole. So she didn't go with them. But yeah, Coyote was just there to help them get revenge on the Gargoyles. But then it turns out Coyote was not the real Xanatos. It was a robot, and it was all just a distraction just so he could get Fox out of jail.
And then have a little loving and then have a little loving.
Yeah, which I'm like, wait a minute. If you needed to get her out of jail, why didn't you just pay her bail? Or why didn't you just bribe someone to let her go? You have trillions of dollars at your disposal. Why?
I never thought about that.
I guess he actually, at that point, actually wants to follow the legal system.
Well, that, or maybe he just likes a challenge. He's like, yeah, no, I want to see where this. Oh, that I think he likes to mess with the gargoyles. He likes a challenge, and he was motivated by the power of boners. So I guess all three combined, it was pretty much just, yeah, I'll do this kind. So yeah, I liked the pack. I wish they would have come back more. It sucks they only had 2 appearances in the show, and we never saw them again.
Right.
Well, they sometimes appear separately, like Jackal and Hyena.
Yeah.
I think they were in this one episode when Goliath, Alicia, Angela, and Bronx went to I think Guatemala.
Yeah.
And they were there in this like little freaking cabin and all that.
Yeah.
And freaking what's the Wolf? Yeah, I think Wolf. Yeah, because later on we found out that he's actually a descendant of the Viking captain.
Yeah.
And I think that's the last time I saw him too.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do appear, but just not as a group. They just appear separately.
Yeah,
right.
Sadly.
And Dingo, last time we saw Dingo, who's actually in Australia wearing this freaking metal suit thing because of some sort of virus.
Well, hey, I mean, why not? I didn't mind it, but I did. I missed the pack. I think Fox and Dingo were my favorite out of them.
Yeah, mine too. I never really liked Jackal, Hyena, and Wolf.
Wolf to me was just another Clancy Brown villain. I'm sorry, it's just like Clancy Brown has one voice. And it's very distinctive. So when he's just playing a bad guy, it's like, okay, it's just Clancy Brown. Cree Summer as Hyena was kind of the same. It's just Cree Summer being her diabolical self. And which is weird that years later she would play a little girl. Number 5, Kids Next Door reference. So, yeah. And then Jackal, I didn't really care about. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the second season is when things kind of got a little weird with the stories and stuff like that.
That's kind of an understatement.
You had Angela, then you have Puck, who showed up, who's actually Owen this whole time. And I'm like, this guy, Owen, that was just so monotone, like, hello, Mr. Xanatos. Yes, Mr. Xanatos. And then all of a sudden, he becomes this wisecracking Puck, who was also voiced by Brent Spiner, who was Data from Star Trek The Next Generation. And I'm like, what? This guy? This stone guy?
Yeah.
It's like, yes, Mr. Xanatos. Yes, Mr. Xanatos.
Also, so that means it was Puck who taught Xanatos how to fight, because you got to remember, Puck disguised as Owen actually knew how to fight, and taught Xanatos martial arts moves and all of that. So yeah, that even makes it more weird.
Yeah, and you know what I love about like the second season when Goliath and the others are traveling? I love that there's actually other gargoyles across the world.
Which I thought that was a good idea, because it gave us the opportunity to see the other personalities of these gargoyles and kind of get to know them in a way.
We got the Guatemalan gargoyles, by the way. I'm part Guatemalan, so props for me.
Nice.
The Japanese gargoyles, which I love as well.
Oh my god, that was
and
awesome.
The London gargoyles.
What the hell? Why is there no Texan or Floridan gargoyle? What the hell?
Oh, would you knock it off?
Don't you tell me to knock it off.
Technically, Goliath's clan is the American gargoyles. They just moved from Scotland.
Now, if there's an Ireland or Mexican gargoyle, then I'll feel better about it. Or if there's one in France, I'll feel better about that too.
What about Jamaican gargoyles?
I'm not Jamaican.
Huh?
I'm not Jamaican.
I'm Jamaican. You idiot.
What Jamaican?
Hey.
Let's get back into this podcast, my brothers and sisters.
That was a horrible Jamaican accent.
That was horrible.
What do you want from me? Do I look like a
what you know.
professional voice actor to you?
Think what you're good at.
I ain't good at shit.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Thanks for the confidence. Anyway.
Love you.
Yeah, love you too. There was a lot of crazy stuff that happened in season 2. I admit that. Traveling through time, gods, other gargoyles,
And the
Actually,
fact there's like, I don't know, 2 or 3 episodes of actually the third world, which originally trying to get Xanatos and Alex's son, because we now know Fox actually has magical powers within her, because what person would tattoo a green fox on their eye?
Yeah, that's.
And then we found out that her mother came to like Earth from her other world, which hang on, which in Wikipedia they call it third world. Let me look for that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, third race, Oberon's children. You know, yeah, Oberon, Lord of Avalon, Titania, yeah, who remarried Fox's father, who's also a bit linear, but really aged and like really wants to have like all like youth back, you know?
Yeah.
So they make a big deal of wanting to take Alex because he has magical potential within him too, but then he relented and even forced like Oberon. He even forced Puck to like train Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the non-canonical third season, this was shown to be a drawback from what I just said. Owen was rendered unconscious when Alexander was kidnapped by the quarrymen, leaving Puck unable to save the boy. He was voiced by Brent Spiner. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Puck Trickster Fairy's magic was the reason why Demona became human during the day instead of turning to stone. It was eventually discovered that he was Owen Burnett. Yeah, having made a deal with Xanatos to serve him faithfully. Because of this deal and his affinity for humans, so Puck actually likes humans. He was banished from Avalon and had to use his powers hard limited by Oberon. Since the gathering, Puck could only use his powers within Oberon's strictly imposed limits, meaning they were only usable when Puck was teaching or protecting his employer's son, Alexander Xanatos. So yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay then. That's awesome. No, that is. It's like, wow. You're making me want to watch Gargoyles now.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh man, can we please talk about that one M. Night Shyamalan twist time travel episode where they go to the future and it's pretty much classic future. Oh, humanity is enslaved. It's I know, I have trouble saying it too. Everything's a goddamn apocalypse, and Xanatos is ruling the whole world. So the gargoyles have to stop him. Well, actually, I think it's some of them that have to stop him. Then they get up there, and it turns out it's not Xanatos who's ruling the world.
Oh I remember. Was it Lexington?
It was Lexington, yes.
Oh
Lexington,
yeah, I remember that episode. That was just
crazy.
He cyborged out and he's ruling the world right now. I can't remember why. But then it turns out it's not Lexington at all. It's Puck who's doing all this. So it's another twist. It's like, what the hell? And then it all turns out to be a not simulation, but it just all turns out to be Puck's way of screwing with the gargoyles.
And then, after that, realized that the little stone Goliath hat, I forgot, the Phoenix Eye, I don't remember what they call it. So he just, cast the chanting, then threw it in the portal, hoping it would be lost forever.
Yeah.
Because that thing has the power to, travel through time, and that's what I think it was.
Yeah. So a lot of shit happened in season 2. Hell, I mean, there was even an episode where Fox became a werewolf by a talisman.
I think it was Xanatos, the Eye of Oberon.
Yeah. And Xanatos, this is why you don't buy girls pretty things just because they look expensive, you cheap asshole. Because then they turn your loved ones into freaking creatures.
How you call him cheap if he's bought something very expensive?
Because
Yeah,
because he's just blowing money away. To him, anything's
That's not cheap. That's not
well,
cheap.
To him, it is.
I know. If you're blowing away money,
what do you call somebody who throws all this money at mechanical suits, castles that go up in the skies, all of this equipment, all
if
these
there was a chance, Donald Trump.
You ruined my joke. But wow, just looking back on it, holy shit, man. I love season 1, but I just love the chaotic weirdness of season 2. Like, it was doing shit that no other cartoon was doing at the time, really taking you on adventures in one place and then just going all over the other place.
I know, man. I mean, it was kind of hard to follow. It was kind of hard to follow for me, but it was still more enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, it was. And it had the long... I think season 2 was like over 40 episodes, if I'm correct. It had...
the first season was only 13.
Mm-hmm. And then the second season was 40. It's like, good lord.
Yeah, let me double check on that, how many episodes.
We want to make sure we get the facts right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. I'm going to use the bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah, season 1 was 13 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Season 1 was 13 episodes. Season 2...
Oh, shit. Season 2 was 52 episodes. Never mind.
Yikes.
52. That's more than Ninja Turtles season 3. Because, like, that's almost the standard one season thing. Because, for those who don't know, every show, every animated show in the 90s apparently had to have had 65 episodes in its first seasons.
Yeah, or 13 or so, depending on the popularity of the cartoon.
Yeah, so...
Or television, or the kids show. And the third season, the Goliath Chronicles only had 13.
Yep, and that all totals out to 78 episodes.
Mm-hmm. And do you know there was a comic book of the Gargoyles too?
I did actually, yes.
Yeah, they had comic books of it. I'm trying to remember which company made it. Oh, it was Slave Labor Graphics and Creature Comics that made Gargoyles.
Yeah, even Marvel had a 12-issue miniseries titled "The Day the Sun Kissed the Earth."
That was based on Gargoyles?
Yeah, it's Gargoyles.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, and let's see. And then, of course, in 2015, Joe Books brought the series back to be adapted, but it was only the first 5 episodes and a couple more episodes. So, yeah. But unfortunately, 2 years ago, Joe Books confirmed that they've canceled making Gargoyle comics, so we will never see Gargoyles come back in comic form.
Yeah. I actually kind of want to see like mini Gargoyles running around because it's been 20 plus years since the show.
I know, but we never did, and that's what pisses me off. And oh god, I really don't want to talk about the Goliath Chronicles because
no, we don't have to.
Oh, thank God. It's so bad, and I know because I have to look at it in the future. Why?
Yeah, you were.
I think what's bad about the Goliath Chronicles because I never really saw. Well, I did see it. I never saw how.
I'm over exaggerating a bit. They're not bad. It's just the Goliath Chronicles. Let me put it like this: they tried to make the Gargoyles hip and trendy back then.
Okay.
For that third season. Yeah, they also had to. They also had to dumb them down really much. Like they really dumbed the Gargoyles down.
Well,
they also
consider that that show was on a network. I think that was the biggest problem. That show coming
and
out.
also too, because at the end of season 1 or season 2, the New York actually accepts the Gargoyles, but in season 3, the Uncanon season, nope, the whole world is back to hating them.
Oh,
for
and,
no
and that's when the freaking the guys with the hoods and the hammer thing showed up, or was that in season 2?
That was in season 3.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah, the Goliath Chronicles.
okay.
I think, in my opinion, I thought Gargoyles was at its best when they were not bound by a network. Because when it was a Disney afternoon, it was syndicated. So
Yes.
you can see it in any TV show, any TV station that was willing to take it and show it, but it wasn't like contractually linked to a network. With Goliath, with the Goliath Chronicles, it was linked to ABC. And of course, with ABC they had some rules and stuff, so that's
so that meant if you enjoyed all of the interesting themes, character arcs, and just everything that made the first 2 seasons great, they took that out and they just dumbed it down. So
it's kind of like, in my opinion, like with the Ninja Turtles, they were at their best when they were syndicated, but once they got picked up by CBS, like things kind of changed for kind of weird. Like they did a lot of weird things during those seasons with CBS Kids.
For those who are interested, I would recommend you go check out some reviews on the Goliath Chronicles. Like they point out some great things on it.
Who reviewed it?
Just look up any. I can't remember any specific names, but there are some people who have taken a look at it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But there was also something else that came out of Gargoyles that also got canceled.
What's that?
11 years ago. It was a Gargoyles convention.
Really?
Yes, there was a Gargoyles Comic-Con. It was called The Gathering of the Gargoyles. It came out, it began in 1997, so after season 2, I believe. And every year, it started off small, but it would basically it was like any other convention where you would see fans dress up as gargoyles, making their own costumes, doing their own art, and maybe, just maybe, in the early years, they could get somebody who worked on the show to come by and explain to them the intricacies of what it was like working on the show. But then as the years passed, I think it was maybe in 2004 or 2005, they actually got all of the cast to come there. Like they got Keith David to come by. Keith David came by to tell them stories on his experience working on a show, how he got the role. Greg Wiseman would show up talking about some ideas he had that never got picked up. There was just a lot of great stuff that happened, and it was a great convention. If you own the first season of Gargoyles on DVD, there's actually a documentary on the convention as a bonus feature, which I saw, and it was crazy. Unfortunately, in 2009, they canceled it, and they ended it permanently. So for 11 years, we haven't seen another one. And this wasn't a small convention that was just hosted in one city. It would go all over the United States and Canada every year.
Wow.
Yes, so we were all missing out on Gargoyles, so it's so sad.
I was surprised it got a cult following to have a convention.
Yes, that's how big it was. And it just grew over the years, and it was crazy. Yes, but yeah. Also, too, I should note, because somebody asked us to talk about it. There are plans right now to make a live-action Gargoyles movie.
I saw pics of live-action looking Goliath. I
mean, there's potential, but I don't know. I really don't know how I feel about them doing.
Now, the question is, are they going to bring back the original cast to voice the Gargoyles? That would be awesome. That would be epic.
Most likely, no.
Oh, come on. No Keith David?
They want to. No, the last time I heard about this, Jordan Peele wanted to do a complete reboot. So obviously they would have to.
Everyone does reboots, man. Leave it alone.
I know.
Leave it alone.
It's so sad.
The past is the past.
I know.
And they're doing like a reboot of Child's Play. Like, leave it
Oh.
alone. Come on. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also too, I almost met Keith David a long time ago. I
You
know.
son of a bitch. You read all the big stars, man.
And
we
I
both
almost
we both live within like what, a few miles of each other. How is it that you sing or talk to these people and I never have?
because I go to Alamo City Comic Con.
Ugh.
That's where I go to meet all these celebrities that I've told you about. Oh, last year I almost met the voice of Xanatos. I didn't get an autograph.
Jonathan
from him.
Frakes? I
Yes,
will
I met-
kill you if you meet him before me. I will kill you.
Well, okay.
Kill you if you meet him before me.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I didn't meet him as in I got an autograph, but I got to talk to him and ask him, like, hey, you know, what was it like working for Xanatos and all that? I can't remember what he said, but he pretty much did say it was awesome being on Gargoyles, and he loved to come back if they ever bring it back, which that's not going to happen. Yeah, so yes,
See Spadiner saying, what about Dwayne Johnson as Goliath? No. No.
Why must Dwayne Johnson be in everything?
No.
He was in Moana. He's gonna be in, I think, that movie Fight with My Family or something like that.
Yeah, he was. He was in a lot of. If they do reboot Gargoyles, I want them to cast James Earl Jones as Goliath. That would be cool.
Yes.
Like, if he's still alive, God willing. Like, come on, please.
He's gonna be playing Mufasa in the new Lion King movie. Better be alive.
Why?
And if we have Darth Vader again, we need him too.
Yes, I know. So yes, I almost did meet Keith. Okay, I when I said I almost met Keith David, that's a funny story. I almost met. It was at a Halloween Comic-Con here in San Antonio, and he was supposed to be there, but he had to cancel last minute, and I was so upset. I was like, and he was supposed to come to my Comic-Con last year, but he didn't. So I could have met Keith David twice in one freaking year, but no. Due to scheduling conflicts, he couldn't make it. So yeah. So instead, I just took a Goliath sticker.
Hold on a minute. Elijah Walker, that was wrong.
What was wrong?
That was wrong what Elijah Walker said. Too soon.
God.
I know it's been years since Mufasa died, but that's too soon.
Oh my God.
You read it? You read it?
Yeah.
No, I haven't read that.
Wrong.
Also, he said Amber as Goliath's girlfriend.
What?
So Amber is.
Where did that come from?
I don't know. All right, you all were sick.
Yeah, but like Elijah really Simba's dad because he couldn't move fast. Like seriously, man.
Oh, why?
Seriously. That's too soon, man. I know it's been over 20 years.
Yeah, I was
gonna too soon.
Right in the flashbacks.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Crazy fun.
Yes.
But is there anything else we want to talk about Gargoyles?
It was a great show, and it was ahead of its time, and I wish Disney would bring it back. I mean, come on. You rebooted DuckTales. Why can you not reboot Gargoyles? That's all I ask. Come on.
At least, like, put in like little gargoyles in there, and I kind of see Angela and Brooklyn together. But
yeah,
I think someone told me that in the comics or something that it was Broadway and Angela.
Yes.
What?
There you go. Yeah.
Broadway and Angela?
Well, I mean, okay, they kind of, if I remember correctly, Angela, Broadway, and Brooklyn kind of had a love triangle in the show. Like, I think Angela and Broadway were mostly together, but Brooklyn really liked her, but he never asked her out.
Her, I don't know if I've seen those episodes, but to me, I would have pictured her in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I would have
would've
thought
picked
that
her.
because I mean, the second in command of the clan, the daughter of the leader of the clan.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
isn't that a little weird? Well, yeah. Well, actually, no. I mean, I was gonna say, isn't that a little weird for Goliath's friends to be dating his daughter? But then again, that I think about it, they gotta reproduce somehow. So never mind.
And
Never mind.
possibly-
I mean,
Oh.
there's still that island full of the eggs that the princess and Tom saved. There's still plenty of female gargoyles there.
So what you're saying is, there's more gargoyles in the sea.
Really, man? Really? Can I be honest with you? All right. See, Spadina was mentioned about Andy Serkis. It made me think of if they said they're gonna do a live action Gargoyles, right?
Yeah.
If they're gonna do the motion capture, I see him doing Lexington for motion capture.
Yeah, because he's like
Kind of-
because he's mostly crouched most of the time.
Yeah. And it kind and Lexington kind of almost looks like Gollum too.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Wait a
so I
minute.
think Andy Serkis should do it. Should be Lexington.
Oh my! What is with this? Did Greg Wiseman just look at Gollum in the books or in the animated film back then and be like, yeah, I that could make an interesting design.
Does he not look like Gollum a little bit?
He looks like Gollum. Yeah, he legitimate. And this was
The only thing, he
before
looks
the live
smarter.
action.
He looks smarter than Gollum and healthier. But
Ouch. But yeah, no.
I think Andy Serkis could do it. I think he
could.
Yeah.
If there's look, I really hope they don't do Gargoyles in live action. I understand it'll be made by passionate people, but please just know I want to see Gargoyles come back to TV, not in a movie.
Have there been any fan films of Gargoyles from people?
There were, but it was mostly trailers, if I'm correct. I don't. Well, again, not everyone is a CGI or animation artist, so trying to make an animated Gargoyles. Yeah, me too.
So a passionate fan making a fan film of Gargoyles, that'd be so awesome.
That would be so awesome. I would support that shit. But yeah, I think that's about it.
How long have we been at this?
About an hour.
Oh, really felt like 2.
Well, I'm sure it would.
With all the interruptions and okay, all right, Rich. All right. Blame it on my internet mostly.
I call them as I seize them. I'm just saying.
As you see them.
Yes, I do. So yeah.
You moke.
Thank you. I take everything as a compliment. I don't know why. But anyway, we hope you all enjoyed this. It was fun really talking about this show and going back and just reliving. Just a great show. That's the thing. Gargoyles is just a great freaking show. And it sucks that it ended before it got good. And it would become later on what it used to be. But I think at least it had a good run. I think that's all we can ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it had a really great run.
Yeah.
By itself without a network, but it had a great run.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did. And we hope we filled Amber's quench for Gargoyles because, again, all of you voted for Samurai Jack instead of this. Again, well, what the hell's wrong with you all? You want Samurai Jack? Fine, we'll do Samurai Jack, but in April.
You think in a future podcast we can talk about the Disney Afternoon?
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, I don't even remember the Disney Afternoon.
Okay, never mind.
I remember the shows.
I forgot. I'm an old fogey of this podcast.
Well, hold on now. We at least remember DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Chippendale, Gargoyles. We remember some of them. We just weren't
Goop
there.
Troop and Gummy Bears.
Gummy Bears?
Yes.
Gummy Bears.
Gummy Bears.
I don't remember that at all.
That was a show. It was.
That was a show.
That was a thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. Look it up.
Pretty much these bears called gummy bears. They drink this thing called gummy bear juice, and they bounce around.
Yep.
But if humans drink it, they have superhuman strength. So pretty much it's like steroids or speed or something like that. It's speed for the gummy bears and steroids for humans.
They're not also too. They're not actually made out of gummy. They're not made out of gummy bears. They're just called the gummy bears, but they have no relation to the fruit snacks gummy bears. Disney was weird, okay? They were weird. They would make a show about talking chips if they. Oh shit! No, wait, no, Disney, don't take my idea, please don't do that.
Talking chips.
No, please, we don't need that.
That's what Sausage Party is.
Here and there and
that's what Sausage Party is. It's basically talking food.
That's true. Ha! Suck on that, Disney. But yeah, we want to thank you all so much. We apologize if it took us a whole month to get to this. That's my fault. I had to move, and everything's good now. So, podcast will be back on schedule. So, I already told you guys what. Well, it's not Samurai Jack. Ha! You all have to wait longer. I'm kidding. The next podcast is something that hopefully Duo Dreamer can get on board with if he finishes watching the show. We're going to be going beyond plus Ultra.
Hey!
We're going to be talking about My Hero Academia.
Oh boy! So I have to binge watch now.
Yes.
Damn it!
There's 3 seasons.
From what I was told, it's like X-Men on the anime.
In a way.
Yeah, it's like American superheroes, but it's an anime.
And this time they don't actually hate. They don't. There's no like prejudice because okay, a little bit of a spoiler because in the beginning it says like pretty much like 90% of the world has these powers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is this like a school that they're learning how to use their powers?
Yes.
Yeah, different hero academies.
Oh, so like X-Men only.
Yeah. But
yes.
It's not just limited to one professor. Like I said, there's also other academies throughout. I don't know if it's just in Japan, but probably the world.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be talking about that next. We'll go over seasons 1 through 3. Hopefully we can get that out by the end of March. If we don't get it out by the end of March, then we'll have to delay it in April, and then we'll have to delay Samurai Jack, and then we'll have to delay the one after that. So we'll do it.
Did we already talk about Samurai Jack?
I thought we did talk about Samurai Jack.
We did? I don't think we did.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Hold on, let me look it up.
Okay, well, no, you're thinking of the non-existent Cartoon Network podcast.
Are you sure?
You sure?
Yeah. Yes, because yes, I know this because it was recorded on my channel. And what happened to my old channel? So therefore, it's gone. We talked a little bit about it, but
you didn't save the video or something? Like how put it on a hard drive?
No, I didn't. I didn't know then. I do it.
I always save my videos. It's on an extra hard drive.
Sorry. I didn't know my channel was going to get deleted. I know. I talk about being prepared and taking precautions, but that was the one time I should have. I'm sorry.
Delete.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I think fans just really want us to talk about season 5 of Samurai Jack.
I still have yet to see that one.
Well, now you can.
I mean, I'll try.
It's only 10 episodes. It'll literally take you 2 hours to binge watch it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we thank you, everybody. We're happy you enjoyed this. Again, we are very sorry for the technical difficulties. You know, my computer was wanted to kill itself, and Duo's computer was being an asshole.
Yeah, well, I think it's mostly the internet because for some reason my laptop cannot pick up 5 gigahertz. They only pick up the 2.5 gigahertz. So I'm trying to figure that stuff out.
Damn.
I think I would have better connection if it picked up the 5 gigahertz. But
Yeah. Yeah.
nuts to me.
Yeah. Oh, also too, so for the My Hero Academia podcast, I forgot what. Hopefully, we can have a duo. It'll be Amber. It'll be me, Spectrostar, Jaru, and either Kira Armstrong or C Spadinner.
No, you only mate.
No, he doesn't watch My Hero Academia.
Okay, are you purposely making these things so he doesn't be on the show? I'm wanting. Richard.
Okay, well,
Richard.
and that's all the time we have for now.
Shame on you.
We'll see you guys later.
Later.
Thank you all so much for watching. I'm, of course, the Jedi Bender, saying be air, and I'll see you guys for my next video. Somebody else go.
Do Dreamer, and always dream big. And just to let you know, your mate said he could watch it, so he might show up.
We'll see.
Okay, and I've been Freelancer Ember, and just remember to stay awesome, be nice to animals, don't be dicks, and keep moving forward.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Ah.